Boundaries, be they corporeal or otherwise, when self-imposed, invariably permeate one's endeavors and essence. The cosmos knows no confines. Instead, it offers terraces, which one must transcend. Bruce Lee. The moniker Bruce Lee is synonymous with delight for the majority. Lee's enduring allure as an icon is attributed to his effervescent character and unparalleled commitment to his vocation, a beacon of determination. Lee's Odyssey is a testament to the human spirit's capacity and the mind's resilience, navigating through life's battles to seize his desires. Amidst the awe-inspiring feats and legendary status, there's a phenomenon that has captivated minds worldwide: the spread of omens surrounding Bruce Lee. The recent information from the person who always loves and follows him has really surprised us. Let's follow along. During the production of Enter the Dragon, Lee's velocity was such that sequences necessitated reshooting at a decelerated pace to aptly document his prowess. Have you ever watched a Bruce Lee film and felt like the English voiceovers seemed oddly familiar across different characters? Well, guess what? More often than not, that voice echoing through the action was none other than Bruce Lee himself. Surprising, isn't it? Lee lent his voice to English speaking characters in his movies, giving them a touch of his charismatic energy. However, there were a few exceptions to this practice. Remember Chuck Norris's character? Yep, that was all Chuck because come on, he's Chuck Norris. Now let's take a step back and look at Bruce Lee's roots, which are as intriguing as his on-screen persona. Contrary to the belief that he was fully Chinese, Bruce Lee's heritage was a vibrant tapestry of cultures. His grandfather on his mother's side was British, making Bruce part Eurasian. Speaking of his mother, Grace, who her background is a bit of a mystery. Adopted into her family, Grace's lineage has been the subject of various reports painting a complex picture of Bruce Lee's ancestral background. Bruce Lee's mixed heritage played a significant role in his life, especially when it came to his martial arts training. You see, back in the day, having non-Chinese blood could be a barrier to entering the world of traditional kung fu. Many of the top schools across China were off limits to Bruce, not because of a lack of talent, but because of his mixed ancestry. This exclusion didn't deter him, though. Instead, it fueled his determination to master martial arts, leading him to develop Jeet Kune Do, a revolutionary approach that emphasized adaptability and personal expression over rigid forms. Bruce Lee's story is not just about the challenges he faced. It's a testament to his unyielding spirit and his quest to break barriers, both in the martial arts world and beyond. His films did more than entertain. They broke cultural stereotypes and showcased the depth of Chinese martial arts to a global audience. Off-screen, his life was a bridge between East and West, a blend of cultures that shaped him into an icon whose legacy endures. Imagine being so passionate about something that no amount of rejection or discrimination could deter your spirit. That was Bruce Lee for you. Despite facing resistance from students who refused to train with him because of his mixed origins, Bruce didn't let that dampen his spirit. Instead, he turned to two pillars of strength: Ip Man and Wang Chunliang. Training privately under these martial arts maestros, Bruce not only honed his skills, but also developed the resilience and determination that would define his entire career. Did you know that Bruce Lee's flair for the dramatic and the arts was in his blood? His father was a superstar in the opera world, captivating audiences across the United States, especially within the vibrant Chinese communities. Meanwhile, his mother brought her own touch of nobility to the family. Coming from the powerful Ho Tung clan, this blend of artistic talent and a privileged upbringing set the stage for Bruce's multifaceted genius. Now, let's talk about a film that was essentially Bruce Lee's love letter to martial arts: Way of the Dragon. When I say Bruce did everything for this film, I mean everything. From writing, directing, and starring in it to handling the casting, choreography, and even the wardrobe, Bruce Lee was the heart and soul of this cinematic masterpiece. It's no wonder the film is often referred to as the little dragon's own little dragon, a testament to Bruce's indomitable spirit and creativity. In a twist that seems almost comical in retrospect, the press of Hong Kong once crowned Bruce Lee the worst-dressed actor of the year. Why, you ask? Well, it turns out his penchant for wearing elaborate silk suits didn't exactly resonate with fashion critics of the time. But here's the kicker: we absolutely dig it. In a world where conformity often trumps creativity, Bruce Lee's sartorial choices were a breath of fresh air. His silk suits weren't just clothing. They were a statement, a declaration of individuality, confidence, and a refusal to blend into the background. In retrospect, those critics might have missed the point. Bruce Lee was not just about physical prowess. He was about embracing one's unique identity, silk suits and all. Before the world knew him as a martial arts dynamo, Bruce Lee's first mentor was none other than his own father, trained in the Wu Yu family style of Tai Chi Chuan. His father was his initial foray into the world of martial arts. This early training not only laid the foundation for Bruce's physical discipline but also instilled in him a sense of connection to his heritage and family traditions. It's a poignant reminder that sometimes the most profound influences on our lives come from the closest to home. Born in the vibrant Chinatown of San Francisco in 1940, Bruce Lee's life story had an international flair right from the start, despite being synonymous with Hong Kong and its cinematic and martial arts culture. His origins were firmly rooted in the United States. Just 3 months after his birth, he returned to Hong Kong, with his parents setting the stage for a life that would straddle cultures and continents and ultimately influence millions across the globe. This bicultural heritage played a crucial role in shaping Bruce Lee into the icon he would become, blending the best of East and West in his philosophy, martial arts, and way of life. When Bruce Lee entered the world as Lee Junfan, his name was a prophecy, a hope wrapped in the embrace of his mother's intuition return again. She believed, foretelling a future where her son would cross oceans and cultures. Interestingly, it was the quick thinking of a doctor present at his birth who introduced Bruce into the lexicon of the world, a name that would become synonymous with martial arts mastery and cinematic brilliance. This blend of Eastern roots with a Western twist foreshadowed a life that would bridge continents and cultures, reshaping not just his destiny, but the world's understanding of martial arts. In a tender nod to tradition and the protective instincts of a mother, Bruce Lee was first named Sei Fawn, small phoenix. This choice, deeply rooted in superstition, was intended to shield the newborn from malevolent spirits, cloaking his strength with the softness of a feminine name. This layer of his identity underscores the blend of strength and vulnerability, a theme that would resonate throughout his life and career. Bruce Lee's journey through names didn't stop at Lee Junfan, or the anglicized Bruce. He was also known as Lee Yuen Chom, a family name that connected him to his lineage, and Lee Yuen Kam, a name he adopted during his student years at La Salle College. But perhaps the most emblematic of his names was Lee Su Lung, or Little Dragon. This name, bestowed upon him by his sister in recognition of his birth in the hour and year of the dragon, encapsulated his spirit energy. And the fiery essence of his being, Little Dragon, was more than a nickname. It was a prelude to the legacy of Bruce Lee, a name that would come to symbolize strength, agility, and an indomitable spirit. The name Lee Su Lung, or Little Dragon, transcended Bruce Lee's personal story, becoming a symbol of his on-screen persona and his martial arts philosophy. It reflected his dynamic approach to life, constantly evolving, fiercely passionate, and deeply influential. In Little Dragon, Bruce Lee not only left an indelible mark on cinema and martial arts, but also on the cultural zeitgeist, inspiring generations to pursue their passions with relentless determination and boundless creativity. Back in 1958, young Bruce Lee, still in high school, daringly stepped into the ring at the Hong Kong boxing tournament for school kids. And guess what? He emerges victorious, knocking out the reigning champion from the previous year. Talk about a jaw-dropping debut. Fast forward a bit, and we find ourselves in the midst of cinematic history. Fist of Fury catapults Bruce Lee into the stratosphere of stardom in a mere 4 weeks. This masterpiece smashes Chinese box office records, leaving audiences in awe. What's even more mind-blowing, the fact that it achieved all this on a shoestring budget of just $100,000. Now, that's what I call a knockout performance. Now, let's rewind a bit to Bruce Lee's humble beginnings in the United States. His first gig? A live-in waiter at none other than Ruby Chow's inaugural restaurant in Seattle. It's here that he starts carving out his path, blending his martial arts prowess with an undeniable work ethic. Did you know that even the legendary Bruce Lee walked the hallowed halls of academia? That's right. He enrolled at the University of Washington, setting the stage for his academic journey, while he'd later spin tales of a philosophy major. The truth is, he actually pursued drama. But hey, we can't blame him for wanting to add a bit of drama to his life, can we? Bruce Lee, fueled by passion and determination, opened up his very first martial arts school in Seattle. What's it called? The Lee Junfan Kung Fu Institute translates to none other than Bruce Lee's Kung Fu. Talk about putting your name on the map, right? But Bruce's story doesn't stop there. No sir, after shaking things up in Seattle, he decides to take his talents to Oakland. There, he opens up his second school and teams up with none other than James Yim Lee, who quickly becomes Bruce's mentor. And let me tell you folks, Bruce wasn't just attracting flies. He was attracting students left, right, and center. Why? Because his style was like nothing anyone had ever seen before. It was revolutionary. It was dynamic, and it was Bruce Lee through and through. Now here's a tidbit about Bruce Lee that might surprise you. The man wasn't a fan of swimming pools. Why, you ask? Well, let me tell you a little story. As a youngster, Bruce couldn't resist teasing his sister by giving her a little push into the pool, but oh did he pay the price she retaliated by holding his head underwater for what must have felt like an eternity, extracting a promise from him to never repeat such antics, and you know what, Bruce kept his word. Not only did he steer clear of poolside mischief, but he wouldn't even go near a swimming pool after that incident. Ever wondered why we in the Western world refer to it as kung fu instead of the Cantonese kung fu? Well, here's the scoop straight from the source. It all boils down to James Yim Lee, Bruce's trusted mentor. When Bruce questioned him about the discrepancy in spelling, James simply explained that he felt kung fu would roll off the American tongue more smoothly. And you know what? He had a point after all. Why make things harder when you can make them easier, right? Now, here's a twist in Bruce Lee's tale that might raise an eyebrow or two. Despite his undeniable prowess in martial arts, Bruce found himself deemed unfit for service in the Chinese military. And why, you ask? Well, it turns out he had an undescended testicle, which conveniently earned him a pass on the draft. Talk about dodging a bullet, huh? All right, gents, brace yourselves for this one. Upon his return to Hong Kong at the ripe age of 22, Bruce faced an unexpected request from his father to undergo circumcision. Now, that's not exactly your typical father-son conversation, is it? But being the dutiful son that he was, Bruce acquiesced, marking yet another unconventional chapter in his life story. Now, let's delve into the romance department, shall we? When Bruce Lee tied the knot with Linda Emery in 1964, they opted for a low-key affair. But here's the kicker. The nuptials came hot on the heels of a surprise pregnancy. Yep, you heard that right. It was a classic case of a shotgun wedding, adding an unexpected twist to their love story. Believe it or not, it wasn't a blockbuster movie that introduced the United States to the world of kung fu. It was a television series called The Green Hornet, and who was at the forefront of this cultural crossover. None other than Bruce Lee himself portrays the iconic character of Kato. Talk about making an entrance. Now, here's a behind-the-scenes tidbit that'll leave you in awe. While filming The Green Hornet, Bruce Lee's lightning-fast moves posed a unique challenge. He was so incredibly quick that the camera struggled to keep up, often capturing nothing but a blur. Imagine being too fast for the camera to handle. Now that's what I call a true martial arts master. But Bruce Lee wasn't just a master of physical prowess. He was also a deep thinker with a profound understanding of combat. That's where Jeet Kune Do comes into play, translating to the way of the intercepting fist. This was Bruce's personal fighting philosophy, a dynamic approach that emphasized adaptability, speed, and efficiency. In other words, it was Bruce Lee distilled into a martial arts form. While Bruce Lee is renowned as a martial arts icon, his talents didn't end there. Oh no. He was a true artist in every sense of the word. In addition to his mastery of combat, Bruce also dabbled in the realms of poetry and drawing. Talk about a multifaceted genius. Now, here's a little-known fact about Bruce Lee that might raise a chuckle or two. Despite his unparalleled skills in the martial arts arena, he wasn't exactly a pro behind the wheel. Yep, you heard that right. Friends of Bruce knew better than to hop into a car with him at the helm. And why was that, you ask? Well, it seems Bruce's poor eyesight might have had something to do with it. Let's just say his talents were better suited for the dojo than the driver's seat. Here's a curious quirk about Bruce Lee. Despite being an early adopter of contact lenses and having the means to afford any glasses he desired, he often chose to sport his trusty taped-up spectacles from his youth. But why, you might wonder? Well, it seems Bruce had a profound reason behind this seemingly odd choice. By sticking to his humble beginnings, he sought to stay grounded and never forget the journey that shaped him. Now that's what I call staying true to your roots. You've heard of his legendary victories in the boxing arena, but did you know Bruce Lee once waltzed his way to victory in a Che-Che dancing competition? That's right, folks. This martial arts maestro wasn't just a force to be reckoned with in combat. He had some serious moves on the dance floor too. Now, here's a fascinating insight into Bruce Lee's mindset. Despite his own mastery of martial arts, he held Muhammad Ali in the highest regard. In fact, Bruce considered Ali to be a superior fighter and would often immerse himself in watching Ali's fights on repeat. Talk about a student of the game. In a surprising twist, it turns out Bruce Lee was also a fan of cannabis. Yep, you heard that right. Before the days of bespoke edibles, Bruce enjoyed indulging in a bit of the wacky herb, and get this, he was a cannabis user for over a decade. Who would have thought that behind the fierce fighter lay a penchant for the green? Before he became a household name in Hollywood, Bruce Lee's journey to fame began as a child actor in Hong Kong. By the tender age of 18, he had already graced the silver screen in over 20 films. Bruce was destined for greatness from the very start. Did you know that Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris weren't just pals, but Bruce actually helped kickstart Chuck's acting career. Picture this. While working as a stunt coordinator on the set of Wrecking Crew, Bruce pulled some strings to get Chuck his first acting gig. Though Chuck's moment in the spotlight was short-lived, he got knocked out in a fight scene. His friendship with Bruce would endure for years to come. Bruce Lee wasn't just a martial arts master. He was also a sought-after mentor to Hollywood's elite, from the likes of Steve McQueen to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Coburn, Joe Louis, and of course Chuck Norris. Bruce shared his wisdom and skills with a star-studded roster of celebrities. Talk about a powerhouse training squad. Tragically, Bruce Lee's life was cut short by an allergic reaction to a painkiller called Equagesic, but even in death his legacy lived on. At his funeral, luminaries such as Steve McQueen, James Coburn, and Chuck Norris stood as pallbearers, paying their respects to the martial arts icon who had touched so many lives. Here's a quirky tidbit about Bruce Lee that might surprise you. Not a fan of the aesthetic look of sweaty armpits, Bruce actually had his sweat glands removed from that area. Now that's what I call going to extremes for the sake of style. At just 28 years old, Bruce Lee penned a set of vows to himself, a declaration of his ambitions and aspirations. In those words, he pledged to become the first highest-paid Oriental superstar in the United States, delivering electrifying performances and unparalleled quality as an actor. And you know what? He didn't just talk the talk. He walked the walk. By 1970, Bruce had skyrocketed to international fame, achieving the wealth and success he had envisioned. It's a testament to the power of determination and self-belief. But Bruce's path to superstardom wasn't without its challenges. In 1969, he hit a low point when a debilitating injury confined him to bed, plagued by severe muscle spasms and back pain. It was during this period of adversity that Bruce found solace in writing his famous, "My definite chief aim." From the depths of despair emerged a renewed sense of purpose, a drive to overcome obstacles and reach for the stars. While Bruce Lee may have been born into privilege, his upbringing in Hong Kong was far from idyllic. The city was undergoing rapid transformation, recovering from the aftermath of Japanese occupation during Bruce's early years. As Hong Kong underwent a massive rebuilding process, influxes of refugees from the mainland exacerbated issues of overcrowding and social upheaval. Despite his privileged background, Bruce was no stranger to the challenges of a changing world. In the gritty streets of Hong Kong, gangs held sway, and Bruce Lee wasn't one to back down from a fight. From a young age, he found himself embroiled in several skirmishes, a consequence of the turbulent times he grew up in. But when his parents saw him getting into one scrap too many, they decided it was time for a change. Enter martial arts training, a wise move to equip Bruce with the skills to defend himself. Perhaps Will's mom from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air could have taken a page from their playbook. With a reputation for street fights preceding him, Bruce's parents made a pivotal decision to send him to the United States to complete his studies. It wasn't just about academics. It was a bid to steer him away from the dangers of his environment. Sound familiar? Yep. It's a bit like the plot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but with a martial arts twist. Adding to the urgency was a chilling revelation. The police suspected one of Bruce's adversaries of having ties to the Chinese triads, putting Bruce in grave danger. Bruce Lee's death shocked the world, but the circumstances surrounding it remained shrouded in mystery. Officially ruled as a death by misadventure, speculation and conspiracy theories abound. One such theory suggests he was targeted by the Chinese triad, a chilling possibility that adds another layer of intrigue to the enigma of Bruce Lee's passing. Above is a fascinating journey through Bruce Lee's life, from his turbulent youth to the conspiracies surrounding his untimely death. His journey is a testament to the tenacity, determination, and enduring appeal of a martial arts legend. Stay tuned for more interesting information about the lives of the stars you care about. How do you feel after listening to Bruce Lee's life story? Please leave a comment below this video to discuss with us. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video and follow my YouTube channel to update interesting news about Hollywood celebrities.